Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman29, and as I got digging into how I would compose these series, it ended up being a bigger task than I thought, mainly because there is piles and piles of literature from the ancient Near East, and a lot of these deities form the same functions, but come under different names. And because the area, they were neighbors, a lot of these cultures, they exchanged the names with sometimes their own characters, or just making minor changes to the name. So the deities end up becoming very confusing if you haven't read the literature and know what's going on. Probably one example of this is the interchange between the characters of Nergal and Erra. Nergal is a hero who enters the underworld, and Erra is the god of pestilence, war, and disease. So in the texts of especially Nergal and Ereshkigal. Ereshkigal is the queen of the underworld in Mesopotamia. You see the name change right in the middle of the text. And if you didn't know, you could get mixed up. You could say, what is Erra doing here? Hebrews used this also. And for those who are opposed to the documentary theory, in the Hebrew text, with multiple writers, use texts like these, where the names are interchangeable, and sometimes plural. So, I haven't decided yet on whether to change my views personally, but I'm still thinking about it all. So, in the underworld of Mesopotamia, we have to see that along with all the deities, there's one rule. As above, so below. As above, so below. Meaning you have a head deity in charge, you would have that below. You have lesser deities, such as messengers, advisors, counselors, you'd have that below. Then you have the worker deities, so below you'd have those who guard the gates of heaven, those who guard the gates of hell. You see this even in Egyptian underworld. And also, number 2, you can't eat the food. There's certain things that you cannot do in the underworld, or you will stay. So there's this concern where the deities in the heavenly realms end up saying, we can't go down to the underworld, we'll send somebody. So a hero goes down. They give him tips, so to speak. When you get down there, this will happen. Don't do this, don't do this, don't eat this, don't drink this. Because if you do, you'll have to stay down there, in essence. And you eat of the food of life, it brings you back to life. However you drink, you take part with the dead, you become part of the dead. You see this happening a little bit in the Odyssey, where Ulysses digs the trench, fills it with blood. Those he wants to speak to, he lets them drink the blood. This is like the water of life, so to speak. And when they do, they're allowed to talk to him. When he does not allow them to do that, he cannot speak to them, or they cannot speak back. Same thing in the Mesopotamian story, Adapa and the Food of Life, where Adapa is being punished. The gods want to see him. His father says to him, when you go up there, don't eat anything, don't drink anything, don't wear anything that they want to give you. It could be a trick, because they may be trying to kill you. However, he's in the heavenly realms. What he doesn't know, he doesn't drink, he doesn't eat. He doesn't eat the food of life. He doesn't drink the drink of life, the water of life. He doesn't wear the coat of life. And so when he comes back, he misses out on the opportunity to live forever. And the gods question that. Why didn't you do this? So he was kind of frustrated. So I think what we should do is look at some of these themes, go over some of the deities, and due to those who have short attention spans, I'm going to break this up into a couple sections. So this is, for the most part, section 1.1. 1.2, we'll get into the gods and some of the texts. What we're going to do currently, before we get into the gods, I kind of narrowed down what we were going to talk about. First, we're going to look at Inanna's descent into the underworld, which is different, even though sometimes Inanna is associated with Ishtar. It's different. Then we're going to look at the descent of Ishtar into the underworld. And we'll look at the ideas of Ishtar and Gilgamesh, and Enkidu's dream when he's cursed by the gods for killing the bull of heaven. They punish him by giving him or cursing him to die. We'll go over his dream because that gives a view of the underworld, and also Nergal and Ereshkigal. We'll go over the gates, and this is a great story, and also one that's a little more recent than all these older texts is Ishtar and Izdubar, which is almost the same as Nergal and Ereshkigal. But we'll go over Ishtar and Izdubar because they have a whole section in there that was translated from cuneiform into English as poetry, verse. It's beautiful. So we'll look at that. Then what we'll do is we'll take all of that and we'll compare to what's going on in Canaan. From the Ugaritic text, the Baal's fight with death, how he compares with the god Erra, and how these descents stop fertility, cause droughts, and then we'll compare it to ideas of the creation battle between Marduk and Tiamat, and all that to Hebrew literature also. So there's quite a lot of literature to cover. So in the next video, we're going to look at some of the gods of Mesopotamia. There's a slew of them. We'll look at groups of gods doing things, which can be compared in Hebrew to the Kokavim, or the heavens, or the stars, and also to the Elohim, for those who are of the theological view that Elohim means divine beings or a group of deities. There's some of that in this literature also. So we'll take a look at that, and hopefully this can be somewhat enjoyable. So I'll see you in the next video, and what I'll be doing is posting everything in the detail section, so you too can have a look at some of this literature. There was a user who's doing a really cool series, Flat Earth Bible, Daniel 23, that you should go and check out. He's looking into lots of literature, and he just put out his first video, Flat Earth Bible, When is a Circle Not a Circle, and he is discussing Isaiah 40:22, which is really interesting. So be sure to go over there and check out his stuff. He has a lot of great stuff. I'll also put a link to his video in the details section. Details section is going to be very important in this study, so be sure you are looking all the details of the videos for the text and supporting literature, so you can get a jump on what's going to be happening. So, until the next video, take care, friends, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking